This was they got lucky with filming.
Lucky.
Everything
That's what
looked
you
like
say about
everything looked like. I mean, where they were filming, it looked kind of like a rundown town. They were blowing shit up. That's because they filmed in Atlanta, Georgia, right before the Summer Olympics, and all those buildings were going to be torn down anyway. So they're like, "Hey, got a bunch of desolate buildings we can film our gentrification story here with."
Perfect. Do you want to know a funny little tip about our lead actor, who's RoboCop?
Robert John Burke. Yeah.
So he plays Smitty in Wakanda Forever. That's right. RoboCop is in the Marvel universe.
He did it. He
did it. He played. Do you remember that character, Smitty?
No.
Neither do I. Neither do I, Tony.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
But they credited him, and he has a fucking name, and it's Smitty.
I watched Wakanda Forever once.
Okay.
And I liked the first Black Panther.
Yeah, I really liked the first Black Panther,
really liked
actually.
it. The effects, the effects in the third act, they clearly weren't confident in how well the movie would do, and they should have spent a little bit more money on that third act.
Yeah.
But overall, the movie's fine. I watched Wakanda Forever, and I went, "Oh, this sucks."
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought it was a very beautiful film, oddly. Like some of the, I liked the cinematography of it. Like it was a very attractive film, like the way that they did that. I can't speak much more good about it, though. After that, it's just, oh, that movie's kind of pretty. What happened in it?
There were
stuff.
There were water people.
Yeah. Oh no, I forgot those. They looked really stupid, didn't they? Anyway.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Oh,
they had little girl Iron Man.
They need to bring back the Rhino. The rhinos from the first one.
Oh yes, which I have an action figure of over there.
What? Small world.
Yeah, no, Wakanda Forever was garbage.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I didn't like it. It was clear they didn't know what to do.
Well, what's his face from Nope was doing Nope.
Yeah.
So
it sucked he wasn't able to come back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
he would have helped, honestly.
I don't mind the girl who plays Black Panther's sister, but I don't really think she's the
we all wanted Chadwick Boseman.
Obviously. But
like, period. The end.
But yeah, no, that if you're a Black Panther fan, good luck with the future of those movies. I'm tapping out. Anyway, what were we saying? Oh yeah, Robert John Burke.
Yes.
He replaced Peter Weller.
Yeah.
Who was doing
so weird.
I have it here. Peter Weller, he probably didn't want to come back because he was really not happy with RoboCop 2 because as we mentioned, it didn't have a third act. Mm-hmm. But he was filming a movie called Naked Lunch. So he was not able to do it. So they got Robert John Burke to come in. Now here's the problem.
Isn't Naked Lunch the one with the lizards?
I don't remember. I don't know if I've seen it.
I know the Simpsons joke where there's just like that. No one was naked or eating lunch. That's for sure.
Maybe. I don't know. We should probably watch it. Let's watch it right now. We'll be right back.
All right. Naked Lunch it is.
The suit that Robert John Burke is wearing was built for Peter Weller in RoboCop 2. And Robert John Burke is taller than Peter Weller.
We all know the problems from the first movie that they had with that. So, okay.
Yeah. So
I know where this is headed.
He was uncomfortable in this suit.
Oh, yeah?
Which I don't blame him if you're a little bit taller and it doesn't fit
but
right.
I feel like he was more mobile in this movie for sure. Like, at least when it comes to, like, just noticing poses that he was doing.
I guess so,
Like, if he was on the ground, like, in the first two movies, he couldn't articulate up to look.
Yeah, maybe
you know what I
change
mean?
it up
like,
a little bit.
And by the third one, like, I specifically remember, I'm like, how is he, like... Maybe, like, the way that they framed it, he wasn't wearing the pants or something.
Yeah, that's usually what
and
they
it was
did.
just, like, because the costume was only half worn, kind of like a C-3PO kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's what they did with
he was able to...
The driving scenes, they have him take the legs off so he can actually drive.
Okay.
I feel bad for Robert John Burke because, this is a hard role to step in, but, like, he's even more robotic than the first movie.
Uh-huh.
Police officer, no loitering.
Maybe he only watched again, like, the problem is he should be more relaxed and more sociable by the end of the first movie, but they to establish that he's still very robotic. And Robert John Burke is going a little too far in the robot thing.
Maybe it's just because it's the first time he's doing it. He's like, well, I feel like I should be more. It's like, no, this is the third movie. Come on, dude.
Also, they had to address that his face changed. So the very first thing that happens to him is he gets hit with like fire and his face gets all messed up. So you're supposed to assume they like fixed up his face and it looks a little different.
Uh-huh. I mean, at least it has like almost like high evolutionary vibes from Guardians 3, where it just looks like it's almost like peeled on there. You could just like pick it off.
Yeah, the makeup never looked as good as it did in the first one. Even RoboCop 2 didn't look as good as the first one.
Well, no, not the suit looked good though.
The suit looked good.
I'm still gonna
The makeup with the
vouch
head,
for the second.
something about it never really jived with me.
No, it was just that little bit off.
So major plot points were taken from Frank Miller's original draft of RoboCop 2. But then he like kind of walked away. He had a quote saying like the director is the one with all the power. So I guess Fred Decker came in and just changed a bunch of stuff. But even he didn't have full control because Orion was even more hands-on with this, and they made the decision because they realized kids loved RoboCop, even though they weren't technically allowed to watch it.
Yeah.
So they made it PG-13.
That made me very upset.
Yep, they toned down the violence. They added a kid to the movie.
Toned down the good stuff. Come on.
Yeah. And I like Fred Decker. He's a really good writer. He works a lot with Shane Black, and Shane Black actually is one of the cops in the film at the donut shop, the one that goes with Murphy.
Oh, okay.
Shane Black, who of course was in Predator, and then of course would team up with Fred Decker to direct The Predator 2018, which we reviewed. Another movie with Fred Decker that the studio got a little too involved with.
That seems to be some sort of trend.
Fred Decker has some good movies out there. All right. Trust me. Monster Squad. That's one of them.
Yeah.
Night of the Creeps. Really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Good stuff. So they toned down the violence on this one.
Yeah. But they had some good stars in it, honestly. Like, I was really happy.
Yeah. I actually
was really happy when I saw Bradley Whitford.
Yeah.
Like,
young Bradley Whitford is
yes, please. And
he's Jeffrey
thank you.
Fleck. Okay. Yeah. This is the who's who of character actors. You got CCH Pounder as Bertha. Black Lady.
Yes, Bertha. Okay.
Bradley Whitford, like you said. Rip Torn that replaces the old man.
Right? Freddy Got Finger's dad. Like, come on.
Which, by the way, one cool thing with the game. So the movie tells you the old man died.
Yeah.
This movie never tells you who the mayor is. So the new game, Rogue City, has a lot of fun with that. They're like, because it's between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, now we can figure out how the old man died. And then it's like, also, we can figure out who's mayor. And it's multiple choice because there's no confirmation in the third film. So you can pick who you want.
Literally get to pick the mayor. Okay.
Jeff Garlin from Curb Your Enthusiasm, he's Donut Jerk is how he's
Donut Jerk. That's why is he Donut?
He's Donut Jerk.
Okay.
Lee Arenberg is Hold Up Man. I think that's the bald guy who tries to rob the donut store. He's one of the pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, I know exactly.
Yeah, the wacky duo. Yeah, he was also in Seinfeld. He played a big phony in that one. Fulton Perry comes back as Donald Johnson.
Yeah, a lot of people
Mako.
coming back.
So OCP has been bought out by the Kanimitsu organization, and Mako from Conan the Barbarian, a bunch of other movies, is the head of that organization. There was like another character actor I wanted to point out. We mentioned Stephen Root. Oh, Daniel von Bargen.
Stephen Root, the bulldozer.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's one of the rebels. The other rebel is Daniel von Bargen, who was Malcolm in the Middle. He was the military school dude.
Yes, that made me so happy when I saw him. I was like, yes!
Yeah, we reviewed a movie with him a while back. Not me and you. Me and Joey C. We did The Faculty with him.
I wanted to see that because I'm an Elijah Wood fan.
This is fun seeing all like the character actors and smaller part actors.
By the way, this is my first time ever watching.
Oh,
RoboCop
really?
3.
I watched this.
So seeing Bradley Whitford and seeing all these people was just like, oh my God, how have I not seen this?
This was like the new one when I was a kid. Like the first one was 1990. I was alive, but I was like 1. This is one where I'm like paying attention to movies and stuff. Now, it was supposed to come out in 1992.
Okay.
Sat on a shelf for like over a year because Orion Pictures went bankrupt and someone else took over.
Oh, Orion just is a story of its own.
Yeah, they did a funny thing. They released it in a couple Asian countries like Japan, the Philippines, I think South Korea.
Okay.
Like a year before it came out in America. Because then the American release got delayed. So people were getting bootleg tapes from Asia and they were just watching the movie. And also from what I read, the video game came out, which I don't know if there was an AVGN episode on it. Oh. Did you work on that one? The RoboCop one?
Yeah, actually,
I think,
I
yeah.
shot that episode.
Yeah.
I shot that episode. Holy
It's
shit,
been a minute since I
forgot.
watched it. I forgot if it's mentioned in the episode, but the game came out way before the movie, so the whole movie was spoiled by the game or bootleg tapes.
No, I remember that episode specifically
I don't
because
even
of the
remember.
jetpack on the. Oh yeah. Anyway,
I'm assuming it was theatrical in America. I think maybe they shot it out on home video. I don't know. It wasn't a big movie. 1993, that's not the time you want to put your neutered RoboCop movie out into
No.
theaters. There's a lot going on in 1993. Although 1992 was also very busy.
Yes.
You don't want to put RoboCop 3 up against Terminator 2. That is
Why not?
That is not. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
I
It's
literally like texted that confusion to you.
Yeah,
earlier
yeah, you're
this
like-
week. I was just like, "Hey, do you happen to have a copy of the Terminator 3?" I'm like,
I'm like, oh wow, you must
mean-
have really liked it, Tom, and wanted to watch it again.
"No, it was RoboCop 3 that I needed a copy of."
If you want to know what Tom thinks about Terminator 3, watch our What is the Worst Terminator episode, or go to the Clips and Streams channel. When we do these best and worst later on, I chop them up.
Oh, okay.
So if you're like, I want to know what Tom has to say about Terminator 3 and only Terminator 3, you could just look up the Terminator 3 segment from that full episode.
That's badass.
But you should watch the full episode. It's one of our
should.
biggest ones. Yeah, so you got the who's who of the cast. You have a good writer, director, but you have not the best management ahead of it.
Yeah,
it
it's not
got
the
shout
Empire
out.
Strikes Back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's neutered. That being said, I don't mind the story and the plot for the movie.
Yeah.
I think it flows a little bit better than the second one. Like, there's a focus. RoboCop.
Yeah.
We'll get to the problem with RoboCop, but there is a motivation for RoboCop to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
The rebels have clear motivation.
The punks or whatever. The crazy punks are.
Well, they're used by the bad guys.
They're-
OCP is there.
you
Before we go more into the plot, let me actually read it.
Okay.
Omni Consumer Products, OCP, the conglomerate that designed RoboCop, now owns Detroit. The company plans to demolish one of the city's largest neighborhoods to build a gleaming city of the future. After an army of ruthless mercenaries finishes throwing everyone out of their homes, but RoboCop, Robert John Burke, sworn to protect the public, joins forces with a band of urban freedom fighters battling to save their neighborhood. After battling a lethally efficient ninja android and equipped with a new arsenal of high-tech weaponry, RoboCop and the courageous residents take on OCP's private army. It's all-out war, an explosive street fight that could destroy either the city or the evil powers behind the brutal corporate raid. And some guy, Candy Taylor said, "This is the best RoboCop ever." Okay, Candy. Yeah, I think the story works for the most part. It's a fun plot. I like that there's now an even more sinister organization owning the sinister organization.
Somehow it got more layers.
What did you think of this one? How did you feel about it?
I enjoyed the ideas of it. Since I'm coming off of it fresh.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the concepts. I thought that the ninja robot was just like, all right, this is that. I didn't realize he was a robot at first. Like, that totally threw me. I'm like, wait, what?
And then there was multiples of him.
Yeah, well, the one that was all messed up, they just put his face, which was just like this the whole time.
Speaking of people creeped
It's like
out by
sleepaway
faces.
camp, just like a weird face that just sticks with you.
Speaking of people creeped out by the face of RoboCop 2, I have known people who were really scared of the ninja's face in this, with the jaw and then the shattered face.
RoboCop 2 face is so much scarier. So much worse.
Man, if that scares you, do not watch Lawnmower Man. That's all CGI faces at the end. You'll be terrified.
It lives with me.
Yeah, so it didn't work for you overall?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but laugh at the entire final showdown.
Yeah.
Just beginning to end. It was not supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But I was laughing the entire time RoboCop was in frame with a jetpack until he left frame with a jetpack and then got it on again and off later. And each time was hilarious. I don't think they wanted that though.
No.
But that was-
there is some good humor in this. Not enough fake commercials.
No.
There's one in the beginning for Delta City.
Mm-hmm.
They have one. So OCP has a rehab unit, which is like a bunch of mercenaries that are just trying to flush out the neighborhood so they can build. They still haven't built Delta City.
They haven't.
They're really struggling to get Delta City built. They start to in the game.
Well, you're selling this game for me, man.
Nice. It's a pretty good game. Oh, yeah. And one of my other favorite parts, comedy-wise. So, again, they're neutered by PG-13. They can't be really fun. But there's one dark joke. So, like, OCP is going into the shitter.
Yeah.
Because of the events of the film. They think RoboCop's gone rogue, but he was really set up.
Mm-hmm.
The Kanemitsu Corporation is going to, like, shut them down. So, everyone's panicking in there. And Bradley Whitford's like, oh, what a bunch of cowards. Oh, he jumped out. Psh, that's why I bring a gun. But I do love, so I love that. I just walked by a guy's office. He's opening the window and his wife's like, it's not that bad. Can you still hear me? And they show him jump. And I'm like, okay, for PG-13, that's fine. But
then they cut to
the ninja showing up, but you see him in the back. You don't see him splatter, but you see him fall. Like, I didn't think they were going to go the extra step.
No, I did not think so either. I thought it was going to be another place, another location.
But then
that was kind of nice.
And Bradley Whitford's character is like a total dick. He then gets fired and he pulls out the gun that he just mentioned. I love that, like, they timed it perfectly where like a few minutes or seconds go by. Mm-hmm. And Johnson's like, okay, and boom, you just hear him get shot. Like, that's dark for a PG-13 movie that's aimed toward kids. Like, I'm surprised they got that in there.
No, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Like to try to squeak it by, you know what I mean?
And here's the problem with these sequels, 2 and 3. I'm really more invested in like all the OCP stuff than I am RoboCop. RoboCop's the weakest part of this movie.
Yeah, entire all from when he becomes disabled until he's fully charged. Can they just fix all of that?
He's sidelined for a lot of the movie. It takes him, I think I clocked it like 20 something minutes maybe to actually show up in the movie. Which, I mean, it can be done, but I mean, when you're at the third one, it's like, okay, unless there's like a story reason for why he's not showing up, you know, like when it was done perfectly in The Dark Knight Rises, you know, they waited like an hour for him to show up in the suit, but they had a good story reason for it. Yeah. I'm in that movie, by the way. I don't know if I ever brought it up before.
What? Never.
Oh, but yeah, I was in it.
That's crazy.
I can sign your DVD if you have it or something.
I would love that.
Okay, bring it over and I'll sign it. Okay. Anyway,
you can sign my Creed movie then.
I will.
Right. That's right, an extra in Creed.
Oh no, so you'll sign it for me.
No, you're gonna I just want you to sign stuff so I can sell it.
You want me to sign your Creed DVD, even though I'm not an extra in Creed?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure your autograph brings the value up of stuff.
I have signed movies that I wasn't in, so that has happened.
I'm just saying.
You should get if you have Creed 2, hunt down the mayor from Mummy Cop. He had a small part in Creed 2. He's at the bar in Creed 2.
Oh my God.
Did you see Creed 2?
No.
Oh. Well, see Creed 2. It's good. And Creed 3 is good too.
Okay.
Even though the bad guy is being canceled at the moment. It's still a good movie.
Yeah, I never made it past Rocky 3, so.
Oh, okay. Well, if you get to Creed 2, there's a moment in the bar and like he's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at the theater. I'm like, that's the mayor from Mummy Cop. I know him. That's how I know this was shot in Philadelphia. I know him.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. I wonder who was the cinematographer for the second season of Mummy Cop.
Oh, I think it was this guy's.
You know what? Probably the same guy that shot a couple episodes of Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I think that's connected.
And we all know we're talking about me. I'm just so talented.
So many hats Tony wears. So many hats.
You did a very good job, Tom.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I appreciate it. I'll just give myself a little pat. So the continuity I had the biggest issue with in the third movie.
Okay.
So I have a couple things here. So like the repair scene, which was fun. I liked that when they were just like, "Oh, I didn't know that was under there."
That was fun.
Like gushing out. I'm
stuff like that feels like the first one.
That was a cute little thing, but there was some continuity in there because I believe he said they were at 24. He's like, "Oh, I'm at 24% efficiency," and then seconds later, they have the visor down and it says 12% efficiency. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Who are you lying to here?
That the movie's broken. The movie's broken.
I
It
need
can't
to
be
know
salvaged.
percentages. Because later on, he's like, I'm 93% efficient. I only need to be 90 to be normal. I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention to your percentages. Why?
Don't put a number on it. We're gonna look at that number and see if it matches.
And it does. It's seconds. Come on. All right. There's other ones. So
Yeah.
when in the finale,
Okay.
when the swords connect.
Yes, when they tricks the girl is a hacker. There's a little girl in the movie
Yes.
who is a hacker.
So when
Yeah.
when the little girl hacks the ninja robots.
Yeah.
For the ending fight finale.
Yeah.
Once they do the double sword, the swords don't connect with the body. The heads just fly off. And one of them just like explodes. And like, but the swords, you can, if you look closely, the swords come right up and it like hits them like just a little off on the shoulder. And then the heads, I'm like, what the
0 star.
continuity, guys?
I was already out at the ending because RoboCop finally comes back. He kills the one ninja.
Robo comes back.
Yeah.
Good old Robo.
He's always coming back, and then he gets sidelined. He kills the one ninja. So I do love that OC, like the cops and the rebels and the citizens are warring on the streets against the tyrannical mercenaries, much like the end of The Dark Knight Rises. And much like the end of Dark Knight Rises, the hero comes flying in, but
Yes.
Batman had that cool plane. RoboCop has his jetpack, and it looks so bad.
With like the F-14 jet, and like as they start to hear it coming in, and like the glass like shatters because this aircraft
and
is
it's
essentially coming through.
Really, the effect is so bad, especially at the end when he's carrying the girl and Dr. Lazarus, played by Crossing Jordan. Remember that show, Crossing Jordan?
Yeah.
She was the star of it. I don't know what that show is about. I just know her because I used to see her
Don't
in
cross
advertisements.
Jordan. That's what it's
That's
about.
what it was about.
Better not cross
When
her.
he's flying with them at the end.
So once again the continuity. So if the jet engine from a distance is loud enough and strong enough to resonate and break glass, and like people are like wincing and crowd like, oh, this is so loud, they would be dead. Their heads would have exploded if they were riding and being carried by RoboCop.
Did you
with
like
the jet dead? Just mush people, just a splatter on the pavement. They would have not survived. Their inner eardrum would have imploded. They just blood.
And also, they don't
pouring
have
out of their
flights.
faces.
If they don't have like flight suits on, so they're
And
going.
for how fast he was, like,
I know.
he slowed down to go 2 miles per hour with his jet engine to pick them up safely, and then said, "Oh no, let me just
and then,
fire." No, that's not how physics works.
did you enjoy when he like shows up at the end? How he just kind of like swung in awkwardly, like as if he was on a wire, and
Just,
they
like,
let him
stop.
go.
Like he just paused for a
He
second.
doesn't look like he's fine. He looks like because he literally was swung in with a wire.
The effects on that are the worst.
They're so bad. Yeah, again, RoboCop's the weakest part of the film because he's played by a new guy, so you're switching up the main character. He's not even really the main character. No. You're switching him up.
He's out of
last
commission.
minute.
Oh wait, and we forgot his partner dies.
I was just getting to that.
Fuck, sorry.
So I was disappointed that Lewis was just kind of there in the second one,
Yeah.
not really doing much. And I'm like, all right. When I was a kid and saw this, I'm like, all right, Lewis is going to kick ass.
Yeah.
And her introduction's really good, where they're at the bar and they're like, Lewis. She dies. She gets shot.
Just dead.
And then, like, it's not even like, is she going to come back at the end? Is he going to? No, she's dead. So that's RoboCop's.
She's the motivation
Yeah, it's RoboCop's motivation
for the
to
entire
come back. Yeah.
movie. It's just to
Which is
avenge.
something, I guess. But I'd rather you
More
just...
motivation than the second one, I guess.
Yeah, but I'd rather you just didn't kill Lewis, because Lewis is great, and we never really, besides the first movie, we never really got to see her shine.
No.
Like if you think about it, like Ripley and Sarah Connor, like they're not badasses in their first films.
No.
They get the job done, but the second films are where they got to like shine and be the ultimate badass.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like, okay, in these era of movies, like, all right, Lewis is a badass in the first one. I want to see how much more ass she kicks in 2 and 3, and then she just doesn't.
So is it kind of like a maniac cop, kind of like a disappointment where you just go in, oh, I can't wait to have this character in the movie.
Can't wait for Bruce Campbell to kick
Campbell's
more
gonna
ass.
be so good in this
Maniac Cop
movie.
does it right. I like how they have Bruce Campbell so much in that movie and
I
then
know.
kill him to
I know.
really trick you. That's awesome.
This is such a
Yeah, this was. Don't ever put this in the same league as Maniac
Okay,
Cop
sorry.
2. Maniac
So-
Cop 2 is
okay, Dark Phoenix. We'll say Dark Phoenix because when Jennifer Lawrence is just like, I don't want to be blue anymore. Fucking end it. Just
Yeah.
come on, please. Don't want to be blue anymore. Like I'm literally gonna start wearing suits now, so you don't have to make me fucking blue.
She wanted out of those movies so bad.
Maybe she wanted out of RoboCop. You know, she was like, "There's gonna be RoboCop 4 and 5, and I just don't got time for this. I'm getting too old." Sorry, she's just getting
Sorry,
too
you're
old
so
for this.
upset you died there for a second.
She's getting too old for this shit, man. She's getting too old.
Yeah, Lewis dying is a bummer. So much of the focus is on crossing Jordan and the little girl. They're kind of the main characters of the film.
The little girl is very important.
Yeah, which again
makes sense in a RoboCop movie.
you don't really. The only kid I would ever want to see in a RoboCop movie is his son. Like him trying to reconnect with his son.
Oh, I was thinking like Robo Boy. I'm like,
No.
what? They're gonna find like a dying child, turn him into
No, he had a
police
son in the
officer?
first movie.
What?
I wanted him
I
to
know.
reconnect with him.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just I immediately envisioned Robo Son.
I mean, maybe his son also got shot up by Clarence Boddicker. Clarence Boddicker's son shot
So
him.
terrible. And they have a dog too.
Clarence Boddicker's dog. His group of dogs ate RoboCop's dog. I'm like, oh no! And Clarence Boddicker's dog was working with the head of the dog food company.
No, it's perfect. There's a evil dog food
Robo
corporation.
Dog. Well, they kind of did Robo Dog. It's called Man's Best Friend. I reviewed it with James. It's not very
I
good.
thought it was Axel or something like that.
Oh, I
Never
didn't
heard-
watch
I
that.
I didn't either. I just heard about that legendary film.
Yeah, there was a robot.
Some sort of
dog
robot
movie.
dog. It's not like Mega
You know
Man
what?
robot dog.
There's
It's,
probably
uh,
10,000 Robo Dog movies.
now that we get down to it. I mean, just short of Cujo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good movie, Robo Cujo.
Robo Cujo, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Thought of it here first.
Yeah, RoboCop 3. People hate this movie. I can't bring myself to hate it because it's just, again, much like 2. There were some good ideas. I
Yeah.
could see what they were trying to do. It
Yeah.
didn't quite stick. Neither of them stick the landing for me. I hit them again. I've gone so many episodes not really bumping into Stephen Root.
And now that we're reviewing
Reviewing a movie with
Stephen-
Stephen Root, I'm hitting Stephen Root left and right. And you know what? He deserves it. He's a traitor in this movie.
He is.
Backstabs the rebels.
the Bulldozer is a piece of shit in this.
God, I'm not looking forward to the King of the Hill reboot.
Why don't you just watch News Radio?
Yeah.
Watch News Radio instead.
You know, I was watching some clips from it. I never got too into that show back in the day, but I was
No?
watching some Stephen Root clips.
Phil
And
Hartman, right? Or am I thinking Spin City? David Spade?
No, I think Stephen Root was in News Radio.
Okay.
I watched whatever
I
one it
forget.
was. I watched a lot of clips of Stephen Root on that show. I'm like, I feel like I would like the show. I should try to watch it someday.
Yeah, it's
Is
good.
it
Unlike-
streaming?
it's definitely better. It's better than Wings, you know.
Yeah. But is it streaming? Because a lot of those old shows don't stream. Like the Drew Carey show doesn't stream.
I think there was some
I think the music.
stuff about it.
No, I think the music. They use so much copyright music in that. And I think the licensing.
Gotcha.
But I was also thinking, sorry, we're on the '90s show thing. I'm like, why don't most girls talk about Ally McBeal? That was like a big show for women. And I'm like, oh, it just never streams.
I think Robert Downey Jr. was on there?
Yeah, you feel like that would be a bigger show that people would be rewatching. It just doesn't replay anywhere.
I always remember that Family Guy joke about like that when they get rid of the bear with the chain shaking a jar of coins at it.
I don't remember that.
Oh no, it's.
I remember Futurama making fun of Ally McBeal.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Ally
it
McBeal's-
was relevant for a minute. So
I
yeah.
learned this Ally McBeal
like-
thing. Did you expect when you turned on the worst RoboCop movie that you would start talking about Ally McBeal? I was in Boston.
Okay.
And I looked up film locations,
Yes.
and the exterior for her law firm was in Boston. I took a picture, and I'm like, Guess what show that this was in? Not one person guessed Ally McBeal. That's how
No.
much it's left.
You're gonna get like Murphy Brown locations over Ally McBeal, okay?
Oh God,
So
Murphy.
Murphy. Wait, we still have another movie, don't we?
Alex Murphy Brown. Why are we talking about forgettable 90s things? Oh yeah, RoboCop 3.
RoboCop 3, that's it. That's why. Same level there.
At least they knew that you had to have a human villain.
Yeah.
So they have the ninja robot. But again, there's multiple ninja robots, but you still needed that.
Also a good surprise.
Yeah, but you also needed that human element. You needed that, like Clarence Boddicker, Dick Jones, and they have that in the who's the bad guy?
The corporation. The white-haired guy.
Yeah,
it's always the white-haired guy in these
that's
movies.
Sergeant Warren Reed. Is that the name of the guy?
Captain Power Trip. The normal. Oh, I have all the power. that guy.
I think it's Warren Reed.
He's pretty trope.
Yeah. But like he's a human villain. He's evil. He's working for the Kanemitsu and OCP, but he's more on Kanemitsu's side.
Yeah, because of money, because that's how they build the conglomerate. Blah blah blah.
And he's the one who got Alex. No, he's the one who got Lewis killed.
Yes.
So they were smart with that, although his death scene is not satisfying. He just
not at all.
You don't even get to see him blow up. His legs get burnt. RoboCop fires on the jets. And they burn his legs, and he tries to stop the explosion with OCP, and OCP blows up. But again, it's PG-13.
A beautiful CGI of him flying with them. And
I was thrown off in the beginning when they're showing the Delta City commercial in CGI. I'm like, when I rewatched this like a few years back, I'm like, oh man, it's a commercial within the movie. We're not meant to believe. I'm like, okay, for a minute, I'm like, oh, they thought that was real. Oh my God. It was almost there. Maybe if it had a little bit more violence.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And if it was,
that's what it was missing.
If it had
more violence, less of that kid and that plot line.
More RoboCop, preferably Peter Weller if it was an option, and a little bit more violence, I think you would have had something here.
Yeah, they hid the violence in there pretty well for what it was.
Yeah,
but like it just felt it was missing.
The
whole time, regardless.
It feels like they want it to be more adult oriented, but they had to be more kid friendly. Luckily, Fred Decker had practice with Monster Squad, which is supposed to be a movie for kids, but it's also very mature. So they got the right guy to kind of toe the line.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't enough. Again, not having Peter Weller really hurts it.
Oh, yeah.
You think this would be an easy character to swap out, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's not like Dredd where it's just a frown. You know what I mean?
Well, Dredd now would be hard to Sylvester Stallone Dredd.
Yeah, no.
Well, that would be hard to recast for different reasons because it's like if you were in the same continuity, it's like you have to do a Stallone imitate. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm a Carl Urban fan, so like that's just me personally.
But I'm thinking like it's not like Jason or Michael Myers.
Yeah, where you don't see them, so it's literally
Freddy
like,
Krueger.
What's the difference? Oh, that guy's chest is bigger and wider than that guy who's shorter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It would be hard to replace Arnold as Terminator now.
Well, they do that already with
but like
CGI bullshit.
Yeah. But I'm saying like if Terminator 2 ended up having a different Terminator, like a different actor playing it. If it was,
no.
I feel like back then people would have been like, oh well, obviously Arnold's not coming because he didn't come back for Predator 2.
Yeah, true.
I feel like that I don't know. RoboCop's hard. Peter Weller really nailed it. It's hard to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
My friends call me Murphy. You call me RoboCop.
It's almost as like that first RoboCop movie was lightning in a bottle, and you can't really recapture that magic or recreate that magic.
It's tough. They definitely didn't do it with RoboCop 3.
No. And you know what else they didn't do it with?
What?
RoboCop 2014.